Small talk.
We Can't Dance was a surprise. The band took its longest rest yet. Phil did his best lyrics, changed producer, and it did well. The walk step was from a thing Phil did on the 60s. Jesus He Knows Me from someone they found on TV when they went to America in 1972. They finally included beautiful girls in a music video, and also Mike told this story that will get made into a scene.
I remember that Tony Banks was always terrified that someone during the show would take offence and throw something at him, or worse. And I said, Tony, you're a keyboard player. We'll go for the singer.
There's also a scene of Corduroy Ruins live in 1993, allegedly the time when Phil fell out of Genesis. Phil then decides to leave. Tony says it's a sad day, and after Phil leaves the reunion, Mike says, we have to continue. The band chooses a new singer. Some of the almost chosen are shown. Same with drummers. Ray Wilson gets called while making one of his Stiltskin albums, talking with the band on his decision while scenes of him packing and taking the public transport are shown. Meanwhile, Steve invites Tony to his Genesis Revisited album, to which Tony replies that he's making a new album with Mike. The band is seen improvising, not being able to conceal ideas. Phil is shown on VH1 talking about him wanting to go back to Genesis, but not being able to. Ray Wilson arrives and comes with There Must Be Some Other Way. Tony writes the lyrics. Near C asks if the keyboard patches will get replaced by real instruments. Mike laughs and Tony gets mad. Nick DiVirgilio appears in the background acting as himself. Promotional videos, web pages are made, promotional shows as well, including going to America, but then the American tour gets cancelled. Phil is shown on his big band playing Genesis, and the Calling All Stations tour resumes in Europe. Steve reunites with Genesis as they do an interview on closing the band. Ray Wilson is shown furious, and with Near they quickly form Cut. Genesis pack it for the time being. Shortly after that, they start releasing the Genesis Archive series and some other compilations, while reuniting with former bandmates. The Carpet Crawlers 99 is released, then the Genesis Songbook, including Steve, the 2000s reunion happens, then Phil gets married again and they play Genesis.
We all played at my wedding.
And at this point, what is this band doing? It is obvious that they want to carry on. Solo projects are released, and for the first time they have the perfect excuse to reunite everyone. In 2004, for the Lambs' 30th anniversary, but sadly Peter couldn't commit. A few years pass and the famous trio decide to reunite in 2007, with album re-releases ready to boot, and that ends the 2000s really. For the 2010s, we will see another scene compiling solo material flying by, with scenes from Archive but not much other than that. However, Phil Collins comes back for his final tour and plays a Genesis song with Mike, paving the way for the 2020s. We see a scene of the famous trio being discovered at a basketball game and then announcing a new tour. Scenes of the rehearsals happen, and then COVID happens. The shows get delayed, but we see them, and Phil Collins ends the movie saying goodbye, and that they will have to get real jobs. But is it really the end? Maybe in the pre-credits they will show what each one of them have been doing and paying their respects to the ones that aren't with us anymore. And then the credits show images from the past, and as post-credit, the announcement of some Lamb box set, and maybe, just maybe, a new 2025 updated version of
Small talk.
this summer, the Yes movie.